I was talking to the great Don Greca during the commercial break, and then I heard the music was playing, and I said, you know what? Let's just bring Don on and continue the conversation here. Don, you called my take a couple months ago that the Jets playing week 1, and I said it was a must-win. You said it was a hack take.
I did.
And I am here to tell you that it is not a hack take, and I've heard other people in this market, including hosts on this radio station, our morning show, to name names, reference how big that game is. Because if they lose week 1, how are they beating the Packers, Lions, and Bears?
Listen, I was being somewhat performative, but also I still believe must win is strong because you never know what's going to happen. No, but just it's a big game.
Sure.
No, it's a big game. Because what I had asked Peter yesterday, who's got a bigger game? Giants against the Cowboys.
I heard you guys debate this.
And listen, the sexier game is clearly Giants-Cowboys. That's a sexy game. Jets-Titans, that's like a COVID Tuesday. It's not even a Thursday night game. It's
it's only intriguing because they did it week 1. If they did this game in November, nobody would care.
But it's not even just talking about Salah and all that. That adds intrigue to it. But it's just that's the one winnable game you have in the first 4. And if you lose it, you're 0-4, and things can go sideways. Even though, hey, I think they can win 7-8 games, and if you lose to the Titans, well, now it's 6 or 7 games. You could say, well, what's the difference? You're not making the playoffs anyway. But just the way it looks. Look how you were 0-7 last year. Now you start 0-4 this year. And listen, I'm not. And then at 0-4, is it a lock they beat the Browns? Is it a lock you beating anybody if you're 0-4?
Here's the path to be optimistic if you want to find 7 or 8 wins, right? If you could beat the Titans week 1, can you just win 1 of your next 3? Again, teams are not at their best this early in the year. I'd listened to Steve Young on the old version of the K Show for years talk about how the first month of the year is preseason for teams. So just win 1 of your next 3. Right. You're playing the Browns at home. Could you be 3-2? Then you play New England. You lose that. You're 3-3. Then you have 2 home games against the Dolphins, who might be the worst team in the league, and the Raiders, who were the worst team in the league last year. You could be 4-4 through 8 if you actually win week 1. I really think there's that snowball effect of if they win or lose that opening game.
And also, something I'm sure you've taken into consideration because you think like this, is that let's say you beat the Titans big time, like wipe the floor with them. That Jet fan is going to hold on and say, you know what, I'm not going to sell my tickets to Packer fans for week 2 because they won, they look great. You lose to the Titans. All right, typical. Jets, yep. And there's going to be 70,000 Packer fans in the building, and now what is I think the most maybe the winnable of the 3 because you're home as opposed to at Detroit, at Chicago, now becomes like an automatic loss because all the Packer fans are there. You're a Jet fan. You might hold on to your ticket knowing that they look great against the Titans. I want to see them on opening day. Like little things like that just set the tone. Must win, again, strong because who knows? Maybe they steal one of those 3 and then they make up for it.
It's, of course, not technically a must win, but if you go inside the psyche of the Jet fan, the reason why most people I've interacted with agree with me on that take is because we've seen the Jets always lose the revenge game. Last year to Rodgers, we saw what happened. They actually played well, but still lost. It was a moral victory. They're down 35-3 in the fourth quarter in week 2 against the Buffalo Bills. You go back to 2021. They opened against Sam Darnold, right? Revenge game for Darnold. They lose that. Geno eliminated them from the playoffs New Year's Day at the end of the 2022 season. There's just a history of the Jets losing the revenge game. Pennington comes back and beats them to win the division that Favre year in 2008. Yeah. There's a lot of examples of this, and it's why I could just see it now, Salah and that grin on his face if the Titans win, and it's here we go again, same old Jets.
But you still, you throw out, like, Sam's first game against Detroit, and the first time he threw the ball, it's a pick 6, but you win that game.
But that wasn't a revenge game.
No, but what I'm saying is it's week 1.
Yep.
And you thought that would have set the tone, and it never did. Like, it is just one game at the end of the day. We like to say, well, they're going to lose the next 3. Maybe they don't. Maybe they steal one you didn't think they were going to get. Like, so that's why when I said hack take, it's just like, come on, let's pump the brakes. But as we get closer to it, you realize that it's a significant game. It's not going to be, nobody else is going to care about it. The rest of the country isn't going to care about. Jets Titans is going to be like, I think probably only in Tennessee and New York, but it's big for both of those teams too. You got Salah trying to set the tone, Dable back at offensive coordinator. I think it's a big game for both teams.
The other big football take I had today was I think the Giants are going to be good, and I think there's people trying to pump the brakes. I know you guys are saying, well, and I look at it and go, well, why not? Sean Payton in the second year with Bo Nix was in the playoffs with a rookie. Year 1 with a washed Russell Wilson, they won 8 games. John Harbaugh in his entire career has only not won at least 8 games one time. He won 5 in 2015. He won 10-6 with a rookie Joe Flacco in 2008. I think Dart's good. Neighbors looks like he's way ahead of schedule than we thought. I like their other moves. I just think if the Giants could check off coach and quarterback, which I now feel they can, why can't they go 3-3 in the NFC East? You could find 9 wins for the Giants this year. I don't think that's crazy.
What I'd like to be is 2-2 going into that Commanders game week 5. All right, because that 2 tough games, Dallas and the Rams to start the year. Even though the Rams are coming back from Australia, that's still a tough game. But then you come back, and then you got winnable games after that, 2 very winnable games right after that, including the Cardinals. So that's what I'm looking for. Listen, could they make the playoffs? Yeah, I'm not even looking to make the playoffs. I just want to get back on the rails again, man. My team has been completely dysfunctional. It's been an embarrassment. I want to get back on the rails, win some games, look like I know what the heck I'm doing.
But they made
so I'm
the playoffs
good
with Daniel Jones not that long ago. They could do it with Jackson Dart.
Right, but what was that? That was Fugazi, and it kind of ruined the next 3 years because they weren't that good, but they thought they were. And I kind of feel like the way the Giants set things up, they fired Dable, they kept Shane. So they're kind of telling the world, we got rid of our coaching problem. So that game against Denver, we would have won. That game against Detroit, we would have won. We would have beaten Dallas. But the NFL doesn't work that way. It's going to take some time to adjust. They're not overly talented. Can we let Dart, can we pump the brakes on Dart? He appeared in 12 games last year. I don't need the playoffs. Can it happen? Yeah, but I think we're kind of jumping the gun. I want to get to 6, 7 wins, maybe 8 wins, have meaningful games after Thanksgiving, and I'm not going to be one of those guys to sit there and go, they didn't make the playoffs. What an awful year. I just want to get back on the rails, man.
6 is so low. You could expect 8 or 9. It's the NFL. You play 17. They have a coach. They have a coach who in 18 years has had 1 year where he didn't win at least 8. 18 years. The Jets have not won more than 7 games in the season since Ryan Fitzpatrick a decade ago.
But
Harbaugh
it's been bad for the Giants, Jake. I mean, the Giants, they should be sending money orders to the Jets for what's been happening over the last decade. Otherwise, it'd be the Giants that are one of the most embarrassing teams in the NFL. But the Jets have said, hold my beer. But Giant fans have paid attention. Outside of that 9-7-1 Fugazi season, it has been embarrassment after embarrassment. Firing coaches after 2 years.
But none of those coaches were John Harbaugh.
None of them are. And I think this is going to work. But let's not make it all about now. It's the same like, the Mets have to win. They got Sammy Sosa. Well, they got 15 years to do it. But everybody wanted to see in that first year, it didn't work. They didn't make the playoffs in the second year. What an embarrassment. Can we get back on the rails, move towards something? I love this hire, and I love what the Giants are going to become. But I don't need to see it all in one season. And if I see it, great. If I don't, it doesn't make it a failure.
Here's why you should be more optimistic, though. Look at the first-year coaches in the league just last year that immediately came to their teams and turned it around. Liam Cohen in Jacksonville, Ben Johnson in Chicago, and Mike Vrabel, who wasn't a first-year coach, but first year with that team, he goes all the way to the Super Bowl. I'm not saying the Giants are that team, but what did all 3 of those teams have in common? They had a quarterback who showed enough as a rookie where an attractive candidate wanted that job. Harbaugh chose the Giants because he believes in Dart.
I know, but there's a lot of work to be done here.
The Jake Asman Show is brought to you by PrizePicks. Check out PrizePicks right now. If you're a sports fan, they have something for everyone, especially if you're one of my listeners and you're gearing up for the upcoming Jets season. For player picks on PrizePicks, you just pick a player you like and you go more or less on a few of their stats. Check out some of the numbers they have for some of your favorite Jet players: Geno Smith, Breece Hall, Garrett Wilson, Omar Cooper Jr., Kenyon Sadiq, and many more. PrizePicks should be your go-to. And check out their new offer right now. Play your first $5 and get $150 in lineups if you win. All you need to do is sign up and use that code HMA. That's PrizePicks code HMA. Download the app now or click the link in the description to download the PrizePicks app today.
Hey, look, the Jets had a history, right? Seemed like the first-time coaches always seem to make the playoffs, and it was Bowles that snapped that streak and still won 10 games.
Right. It was Gase that really snapped it because he had a losing record.
Listen, there was a lot snapped with Gase.
You don't miss the weekly Monday spots with Adam Gase?
Oh, my God, no. I mean, I would rather talk to Odell with a bad phone line.
What about Landline Collins? That was my favorite.
That was tough, too.
Who's the worst weekly spot you guys ever had in the history of the station?
Bobby Valentine.
Really?
Bobby because we got Bobby figuring all these Yankee fans would love it. The Red Sox were god-awful. So they're not playing any meaningful games. There was no rivalry because the Red Sox were terrible. Bobby gave us nothing because he just hated being there. It was rough. And then it got to be, why are you talking to the manager of the Red Sox? We're in New York. So that was bad.
That's tough.
I remember I said, "What?" I said something about. I know you're up against it, but it's up against me.
Yeah,
so
it's your show.
that doesn't matter. I asked him something about the health of the team, and I said, "Well, you're finally getting healthy." He's like, "Don, I've been healthy all year. I've been taking my vitamins." I was like, "Oh my God, can we just get off the damn phone?" Did you see my list yesterday? It was the top 5 that guy coaches or managers.
Yeah, he was number
and I
1,
had Bobby
right?
Valentine was 3. I had Billy Martin 1.
Rex was number 2.
Rex was 2.
Yeah.
But don't take it the wrong way. I mean it affectionately. I loved Rex, but he was that guy with his predictions, and he always just sometimes felt like he did the wrong thing. Bobby, I had Mike Keenan on there, and one of my favorite people, John Tortorella. John Tortorella is definitely that guy.
Love Tortorella. He reamed out my buddy Johnny Lazarus with one of the questions during the Stanley Cup about the goaltending situation. I'm like, you've been torched. You've now made it as an
that's
NHL
a
guy.
sign of affection.
Yep.
It really is. Stop coaching Pat. That was always the big one with Pat Leonard when he covered the team. Thank you for this. This was nice.
Don, you're the best. Have a great show. Anything you want to promo to the ESPN audience?
Well, we
What's
got
coming
that
up
guy
today?
Thursday. We got ENN coming up at 6 o'clock. I want to talk a little. I want to continue this conversation about Baker Mayfield, man. I think it's an option.
I like it. I'm in tomorrow for K, so I'm going to hit on it then. I can't wait to hear you guys' thoughts.
Michael off on a Friday? He usually worked the Fridays.
Well, think about it. Yankees playing a day game today, and tomorrow, Wrigley Field
Oh, that's
special.
right.
How rare is it the Yankees to play 2 games in the middle of the week during the day, and it's not because of weather?
Michael is in heaven because outside of New York, Chicago is his favorite city.
Yep. And Yankees in action right now. You guys will keep everyone posted on that.
You got it.
Have a great show.
Thanks, man.
Don LaGreca coming up next.